Thank you for joining us for another AUTORIFIC segment. Today we're going to talk about dash cams. As a licensed adjuster, having been involved in insurance claims, I can tell you that often there's disputed liability claims. Basically, what does that mean? Is no one's taking responsibility for causing the accident. And that leaves insurance adjusters, insurance company, in a position to try to make the decision on who's liable. One of the things that can help prevent that from occurring is a dash cam. And so I want to talk about dash cams today. That'll answer a lot of questions when it comes to who's at fault. Perhaps not all of them, but often it'll give you enough information so you can determine which driver was at fault who caused the accident. Most of your stereo type shops that installs your speakers and your stereos and that type of thing, they could sell you these dash cams and even install them for you. But let's talk a little bit about the do-it-yourselfer and how those dash cameras would be installed. So you can see here what we have is just a typical dash cam. This is an inexpensive one, around $40, and they usually start around $30, $40. It can go up to several $100s. But this $40 model is very similar to the ones that I've used in all of my vehicles for a number of years. And so you also can get the one like this with a rear dash cam. It's very simple. It just has a plug, plugs into the top of the camera, and you can mount that wherever you would like. Typically, that's going to be in the rear of the vehicle so you can see what's going on behind the vehicle. And then you have your power cord, pretty straightforward. It plugs into the camera as well. And then on my vehicles, instead of using a suction cup mount on the windshield, I found various types of brackets that would fit on the mirror stem right there on the back of the mirror. And then I would slightly modify those brackets so it bolted out to my camera. And then that way it's more of a permanent type of mount where you don't have a suction cup, making it obvious that you have a dash cam in there where perhaps that could lead to someone breaking into your car and stealing it. So let's talk a little bit about how that dash cam actually mounts to that mirror. Okay, as I mentioned previously, these dash cams can be mounted to this mirror stem on a lot of different vehicles. Some of them aren't going to have that long mirror stem where you can actually mount it. Many of them will. But you can take a bracket and you can, much like one of these, and you can mount it to that stem, and you may have to slightly modify it so that it'll fasten to the camera. But as you see, that's more of a permanent mount when you do it that way. And then you're able to take these wires and tuck it into your headliner up here and get those out of the way. Now let's talk a little bit about the power port that's going to power your camera. So you can see here, this is a inexpensive power port, and it splits your power port into 4 ports. So you're not limited to just putting your dash cam in that one port, and you can't plug in a phone charger or any other type of accessory. But when you do it this way, you have 3 empty ports. And so what you would do is just simply route this wire that goes to your dash cam. You're going to route it up under your trim in your vehicle up to your camera. And then the one for the splitter is going to go into that one power port you have in the vehicle. Okay, here you have the rear camera, and that's just mounted up underneath the headliner. So it has a little metal bracket bolted to it where it's just pushed up between the headliner and the roof of the car. And the wire runs in this edge of the headliner right here. And then as you see, it tucks in all the way up here, and then it comes down, and there's your actual camera. So this is very important because it catches what goes on behind the vehicle. So you're not just limited to that front forward-facing dash cam. When you have a dash cam, that'll put all that to rest. Usually, it's not going to catch every single thing that happens on the road because you only have the forward-facing and the rear-facing. You typically don't have any cameras picking up what's going on the side of the vehicle. But usually, with a dash cam, when there's disputed liability, it's going to answer a lot of questions, and you're not going to have to go through that long, frustrating process to determine who was actually at fault in an accident.